I mean,
It's likely. There's a high likelihood, Dom.
there's a high that something is about to happen right now. Because as Byron would always say, this is spirit taking over, man. Especially right now in my life. Like it's catch this shit. I'm gonna tell both of you. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but people are lining up again, texting me, reaching out, whatever. My spiritual people, my business people, my again, just old clients that are just so.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wendy. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. I was trying to get the volume back up again because somebody had tried to call, so it like did the silence thing.
Gotcha.
Do you happen to know how to do that, or should I just get off and back on again?
We can hear you.
I can barely hear you guys.
You can hop off and hop back on. Dave's muted.
Okay, that'll be easier. I'll be right back.
Oops.
It's all good. I lived with a deaf guy for 3 years, so
Yeah.
I did. Jamie Hall, man. I learned how to read lips.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Oh, it was nuts. And talk about like reading all the captions on all the movies and TV shows and this and that. It was like I couldn't not do it even if he wasn't there anymore. Once I got into the habit of reading it all.
Yeah.
I think I went part deaf.
Your other senses like picked up.
They kick in. Oh, no doubt.
Nice.
No doubt. Sight's like crazy. Hearing not so good. Smells good.
Nice.
And then just energy like crazy. Feel it, read it.
Love it, man. I like the beach videos, brother.
Oh man. Again, it's probably my favorite time of year out here. Right about now, about a month ago ish till about Thanksgiving. Just beautiful. And then now the kid, got the kids back in school, so the beaches are back to myself.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's different. It's a different energy. There's kind of chaotic and crazy, but cool. I mean, there's always spots to go, but now it's like back to like private beaches, man.
Nice.
You got it back?
Yeah, well, I figured just in case he needs the Zoom, then he's not going to get stressed, because if he's late for a meeting, then I get stressed. So, but okay, so basically, yeah, I have confused my audience for years, but long enough for the majority of everybody to know that Wendy is the go-to gal for everything. I don't know how you do it. You're amazing. And I'm like, you don't see my desk. You don't see behind the scenes, just let me know what medication I should be on, because yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But because I'm like, okay, mind, body, soul, health, wealth, happiness, how the fuck do I roll everything I do into one little package of this is what I'm trying to say? And when the company announced the 5 non-negotiables, I'm like, dude, that's like so me. I love the number 5. The High Five Habit group that I started in September that has 2,000 people in it, I wrote in one of those books that I did about the Take 5 type thing. It's like everything is just coming to play. And it's like all I have to do is talk about people's goals. What is it that you are focusing on life right now? You know what I mean? Is it your health? Is it your wealth? Is it your, your personal development, or is it strengthening the relationships in your life and spending more time with your kids? Well, welcome to the 5 non-negotiables, where you choose for yourself what you're going to be non-negotiable about today, this week, this month. No pressure, just encouragement. And then we invite people on to do a talk like Mr. Nelson with Belief. You about like fitness and things that you can do to increase your activity, meditation, Dave, you can take, put your hand in there depending on like what your wheelhouse is, but the
have
group
no
itself
wheelhouse.
is not a sales group. It's going to be a matter of, we invite them to a special Zoom meeting to meet the masters. And like Mr. Nelson, everybody falls in love with him. Talk to Wendy. She'll put you in whatever group you're interested in. All of a sudden, you find out about this health drink that a bunch of us are doing, completely optional. It's part of the 5 non-negotiables, but you don't have to do it. I encourage everybody to have some type of greens in their life. But if they want to get involved and they want to see how to get their profit or their product for free, so their entire family can benefit from it, then let's talk. And if not, stay in the not 5 non-negotiables and invite your friends.
No, I like it. I mean, again, Dave does have a story because you could talk about your fitness journey as a dad, as a single dad, as you know what I mean? Everyone has a story. So
Yep.
and everyone can relate to a certain story. They're not going to always relate to my story or Wendy's story or Byron's story. It's just a numbers game. And then they're like, holy shit, this guy, he's just like me, or he's on the same path as I was, but now he's turned his whole life around through, not just one area, through doing all of it. And
Exactly.
And let's be real, we all need nutrition. So
that's the
like,
underlining period.
What is it that you know how many years I've been doing this and people ask me like, what do I take or what should I take?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's like move more, eat less. That's start there. That's fucking very simple as it gets. But now even actually, it's just hitting me right now with Dave. Like he's asked me many times throughout the years, what do you take? What supplements do you take? What do I say?
Nothing.
The guy caught me at Lindbergh. The guy caught me at Lindbergh one time. He's like, "What are you doing at Lindbergh in nutrition shop?" Like, I thought you don't take stuff. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I'm here to get like bars, and then like not a Red Bull, but something in that category of a pre-workout drink, like a ready to drink.
Creatine-ish thing.
No, just ready to drink.
Wake the hell up juice.
It might as well have been Red Bull, but it was a natural kind of like Celsius.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to take like I don't know, like 3 or 4 pills, basically a multivitamin, like extra vitamin C, like couple other things, and then when you told me you weren't taking anything, I stopped. Haven't taken anything since.
Yeah, here's the reasoning for me. I couldn't tell you the exact thing that I'm low on. And I know when I run out, I'm not the guy that have never created a habit to like, I have to have these things, because it's not a have to. It's I should, but I feel great. Why should I? What am I deficient? Maybe you're not. But what I heard actually within one of their presentations when they were talking about this new product, Active Greens, is that what we're talking here? Is that what it is? Active Greens. I can get the name down. So Active Greens, where they said, okay, you might not be deficient right now, but why wait till you're deficient? And that made a whole
the nitric oxide thing or something.
Just all of it, the whole one pack. Like, how do you, if you're not deficient in one of the areas, it's like, why wait? And I preach that and teach that to all my clients and everyone I've ever helped coach. Like, don't wait till you need to see the doctor to go to the doctor. Don't wait till you get the dentist, the chiropractor, the your relationship, whatever. Like, don't wait till the fire fucking hits. Your heart's blown up. Oh, I haven't been feeling good for 3 years, but I've been what?
It's like, just because you don't feel bad doesn't mean you don't have all of these underlining things.
No. Back to the price.
Yeah.
$49.
And like with me, I for years haven't been eating enough calories. Even if I have a night where I'd be like, oh shit, I had that whole bag of Doritos. Damn, didn't even realize it. But yet I still had only gotten like 500 calories that day, and average like 850 for the week kind of thing, right? So it was like constant not eating properly, but then when I do too much, but my body's hanging on all the crap. And so it's like high blood pressure, duh. High cholesterol, I figured, and it's like diabetes. I don't even want to know what my numbers were when we had the restaurant and I was all about the soda, or when I was in my depression and it was like, hell yeah, I'll have a 12 pack every single freaking night. Keystone Light, so it's more like a 6 pack, but hey, and I've quit drinking alcohol except for like maybe a tomato beer once a month or something like that. I've quit all breads and pastas except for like maybe every 3 months I'll have like a small spaghetti or a Subway sandwich or something traveling. But otherwise, I pretty much like gone out of my diet. I'm always a water, not a soda person. And like the whole bread and pasta thing, that's been like before COVID, like 2 years before COVID is when I was just like, it's just not good. It's not good without Alfredo sauce, So it's like, what were my diabetic levels at that point? Don't even want to know, because if I'm borderline now, then holy hell, they would have been like, sit down, here's a little pink pill, you're not going anywhere. And oh, by the way, lay down before you fall down.
That's right. So now,
Yeah.
now that you've cut all of that out, now it's just all about adding back in. Because
and adding the right things back in.
No, absolutely. So look at it like this. And this is another analogy I use with clients and I just have for myself. And it's with everything to do in life, not just food. It's food, people, activity or no activity.
Yeah.
This is you. And this is good food. This is good nutrition. This is good people. This is putting in the right stuff into your mind, body, and soul. This is
Wendy.
The opposite. And then this right here, when you start opening up more tabs and you're doing stuff and your screen's on full bright, so you're draining or you're adding energy all the time. That's all we are, all the time, no matter what it is. So look at, no matter what it is, how can I add more energy to my life? Cold shower, meditation, prayer, fruits, vegetables, a walk, this right here. Or you go and you throw on Netflix, you flip through social media, you do nothing, you lay down, you eat a bag of chips, whatever it is. You turn on the news, you eat a bag of chips and drink a beer like most people, or wine, right? So it's like, what is it doing? Sucking the fucking juice right out of you. So the other part that my guy said that I just started training, again, he came into my life. I think I got Sapphire right here. Hold on. So the guy that just came in to start training with me again, Charles, he's like one of the coaches that he hired. He told him, he's like, same type of analogy. He's like, you're like a phone and it's either green or it's red, in your bar. He's like, and throughout the day or when you wake up, he's like, it's been green all night, but your energy levels in a red. So think of it like your battery's dead. It wasn't plugged in all night, but how do you get it to the green? He's like, you do a little movement, you get the cold water exposure, you journal, you do a little bit of, exercise, some movement, and then you do your day. He's like, you're charged up. And then at the end of the day, when you get home, 4 or 5, whatever time it is, Tyrone too. So when you get home during the day, you need to get recharged again. You need to get back into that, plug that phone back in. So maybe you got to do a quick cold water exposure again, go for a quick 20-minute walk, drink some, water, ice cold water, and have some piece of fruit just to get back into that peak state again, because guess what? Your family deserves that. They deserve you back in your peak state, and you can get back there. But most people don't. They go back, they sit back, they crack open whatever that is. They sit down, I worked so hard today, I deserve to. No, your people deserve it, and you can get back into that state. And how amazing is that for you? So just more more of this book and these lessons, man, coming back out, just like in through real day life, everyday life of just practicing what we read here. And that's the name of the game, as I've said before. It's not just read this stuff and how much stuff can we read and how fast can we read this book. We could have been through in like on book 4 by now, right? But why? This chapter 8, the questions to ask yourself, oh my goodness. Like I listened to it in the car, then I wrote them down one by one. Then I sat at the beach and asked them. And there's 32 questions. So I really encourage everyone to go through those 32 questions and put something down, spend some time on that this week, because I'm going to. And that's where the magic sauce is. Those questions, and again, you might not like those answers, and that's okay. You shouldn't like all the answers. There should be some areas where you're like, you know what? Man, I've been slacking. I could do better. I could do more. I didn't even think of that. And when you really dive into them and actually do them, you know, there's no question that all of our lives on here will change in some degree. And it's just all about that, you know, the everyday. If you keep pounding away and doing those things, when it shows up, we don't know, but it's going to show up. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And when, that ain't on us. It's as long as we're doing all the right things, putting in the action and really, you know, and reviewing the action that we're putting in, you know, that's something that I'm working on, is like really trying to set into my calendar and schedule of how to actually review this stuff. Like talking about goals in the 9th chapter, like review these goals, man. Just don't just set them January 1st, which I think I did, but then I didn't. I really started like shifting and changing and always the same kind of ending, but a little twist on it, looking at it, and then really focusing in on, you know, the boundaries and the I guess the process that I've created to do it. How can I fine tune that and make it better? And then just really looking back at that and really, you know, getting back to a 30-day, 2-week, a week. I don't know. I'm not into the daily, multiple times daily looking at my goals, because I feel like there's so many other things that I can really focus on and do that takes away with, you know, get you back into like hyper focusing or over analyzing stuff. And sometimes that'll paralyze you too, because you feel like you should be a lot further than you are. We're all a lot further than we think we are. I can tell you all that right now. By being on this call and still on it, weeks later, and then months later, and then, you know, like Dave and I have been going at this now, the two of us, for what, 3 years, however long, you know. And has anything changed? Or, I mean, as far as like where we're headed?
I think we had lofty goals from the beginning and still working at them.
But
No.
but how far have we come, and how much has come up that just through being on the court, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no, this has been incredible, man. I think it's like 3 years, and I think it was like October, because I don't know. I just remember like going crazy into crypto, starting to study it and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like hooked.
Yeah.
But personal growth at the same time, you know, so.
Yeah, it's
I don't
just
know, man.
powerful stuff. And, you know, I've trained so many like extremely successful people in so many areas, and all of them have money. And what they say in here and everything we've learned, they ain't all happy. Money don't buy you happiness, but I can tell you right now, I've trained some poor people too, some broke people, and I've been broke. Broke don't make you happy neither, or solve any problems. It really doesn't. It builds character if you let it. And if you really, you know, go through it and you learn, you know, the lessons that it's teaching you, not just staying in it or being sucked back into the poor me's and, oh, they're after me, I'm the, you know, the victim mode kind of. I never did that. I've lived this Think and Grow Rich and this book to some degree, like always. Like I always knew I didn't fit in. I didn't want to fit in. Be like, oh, you're different. Good. Like I am. No, right. I didn't want to be like any of these other people because no one had what I really wanted. And that was someone who was aspiring to be a whole lot more, that didn't get sucked into the, and this is no disrespect to, the people that I idolized and looked up to the most, my dad, my uncles, my family members, the people that were, but they didn't know any better. They didn't have anybody teaching them that you can dream, you can do a whole lot more. Like the whole thing on a whole chapter on dreams, like really, like in how to dream and how to set goals and how to, how to ask questions and, this stuff doesn't come stock. We now have learned this and we're learning this. we have no reason to not just keep going, because now we know, our minds have been expanded. We've been pulled in so many directions of like, from so many people saying the same things, just in different ways. And what I like about Ed is how he breaks it down into simple steps, and don't get confused and don't categorize all your goals and dreams into different areas. What is it that you really want? Put it on paper, repeat it, keep telling it. And for whoever's been in the was in our Think and Grow Rich book, you should have numbers that you set in the beginning of the year that you really want to hit. So if you don't have a number that you're looking to hit, and make it by the end of the year. What's your end of the year number? Stretch it. I still think mine is not high enough, and it was high. Like it was high. I don't even have to tell you the number, but it also came with, I'll tell you, it don't even matter. And it ain't even high. It was only $1 million, but it was $1 million in crypto. It was $500,000 in my bank account. I'm sorry, $50,000 in my bank account and $50,000 a month residual hitting my accounts from all that I'm doing. Plus all of, that doesn't include my health and fitness and training. And this is just purely in crypto. And I have a strong feeling it's going to happen. So much is going on and numbers are happening that we don't even know, and more platforms are coming up. And other things are coming up for me to invest in areas that are making money on my money now. So now I have other workers out there working for me. That's powerful. Like this wasn't going on a year and a half ago or a year ago when this Think and Grow Rich started, and then this whole Ed Mylett, the power of one more happened. These are like the results of being on the court, expecting this stuff to happen, setting goals and dreams and standards for myself, showing up every Wednesday because I said I would. And it's not, and again, I don't put that out to anyone out there that doesn't, but if you don't do something consistent, it becomes, I'll do it whenever. If you lead your life, I'll do it whenever, that lifestyle, that's what the kind of life you'll get. It'll come up whenever it comes up. But I've seen too many people get taken way too fast that I pray every morning and every night that thank you for the day and thank you for waking me up. I mean, that's the beginning of the prayer, but every day. And it's really that simple because it's so many people have been taken from us from not doing the little things and thinking that, oh, I'll do it whenever, or, I know I should, but no, like I did my video yesterday was on making a decision. Just make the freaking decision that you're going to do whatever that is, or you're going to stop doing whatever that was. Make the decision. I'm not doing it, or I'm going to do it, and just do it. And too many of us want to have that rational, like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it because this and that. And well, I got to, pick the kids up, or I got to, I got this thing going on and that going on. You ain't ready. I'm ready. Y'all are ready. I know it. So, I knew something was gonna come out of this. Maybe this was all for me, but I think some of y'all got a little bit of that. Tyrone, what you got going on, brother? Dave.
I was just gonna say, I found myself doing like plenty of stuff that I didn't know how I was gonna get there. You know, you just make the decision to do it and watch the pieces fall in place, you know, just keep working towards that goal. And I don't know, you just draw I found you know, I didn't ever used to think like this, but I just see it happening over and over again. You know, just you make the decision, you're going in a direction, obviously putting in the work, but then, you know, the how-tos just, they present themselves, you know, because you're ready for them and you're looking for them.
Yeah.
And you're in the right direction, you know. I mean, so many people, like you said, just don't, you know, just question too much about, you know, is this the right decision? This could go wrong, that could go wrong, like you were saying, you know. And so I think 95% of the people, you know, don't ever get to those dreams, you know, because they don't even try, or they try a couple things and doesn't work, and all right,
Right.
guess it wasn't for me, you know.
I think a lot of them don't even try. They think they tried, and they'll say, "Oh, I tried." Did you really try? What did you try? You didn't do what I prescribed. You know what I mean? If you come in to work out with me and I set you up with a plan and tell me it don't work, well, I tried. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? So it's just it's the perception that they tried, or they did everything they could, or they, you know, they put in all 100% effort, or they couldn't do it because they, you know, again, it's in this chapter, in the Marines, or is it right here? The Marines, the Marines are asked, what is it in this situation that I can control immediately? Right? They're not going into this thinking, holy shit, what could go wrong? Who do you think's behind over there? What is that over there? Is that gonna blow up? Is that a bomb? Is that no? They're thinking like, okay, motherfucker, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do this. You're gonna check out. You're gonna, you know, patrol there. You're gonna look there. We're gonna go get that, and we're gonna get the hell out. Whatever it is, it's not looking for the little, you know, the little thing or the big thing or all the billion things that could go wrong. What is it in right now that I can control in this situation? There's not many things that we can control in anything in life. So I can tell you right now, effort and attitude are right at the top. That's it. Effort and attitude. And when I read that about the Marines, I'm like, okay, if they're taught this, this is something that we should all take with us in life. I'm just saying, like, if you want to take a lesson from any people on the planet, and it doesn't matter, you know, there's no like, okay, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I don't like the New England Patriots. I don't like, because that's their system. No, this is the Marines, man. I know some bad dudes. If that's what they're taught. And I know, Tyrone, you're what military were you in, brother?
I was in the Air Force, man, baby, Air Force. I got a cousin that was in the Marines though, but yeah, that mentality is there for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry for being a few minutes late, man, but
No.
well, I tell you what I got out of the first chapter 8, but all those questions.
Yeah.
And my plan is to write them out and put them on my mirror. The ones that I want to answer myself, put them on a mirror every day and look at them. You know, I thought about doing that. You know, like, you know, what one more thing can I do to make my wife better? You know, one more thing can I do to make my relationship better with my wife? You know, my kid, and, you know, stuff like that. And I like that he said that if it gives you trouble, if you have issues with answering those questions, that's a good thing. You know,
right.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be easy. And then the chapter with the goals, I mean, I like the idea of, I mean, everybody places goals, gives goals, but you got to be specific of what you want to get out of that goal. You know, get emotional about it. You know, which I really took that in consideration, you know, about, you know, don't just say I want to raise like money for, you know, my mom or something like that, you know. Personally, I would like to raise money for the stroke foundation. It affected me because I had a stroke. So,
Yeah.
excuse me. So that's something that I want to do. I want to help out, you know. So that's one thing I'm specific about. So I mean, I read it while I was walking today. I read like 3 or 4 times with both of them. So really enjoying it, man. So
Yeah, it's again, everyone has their own different ways to set goals and to achieve goals, but I love how he simplified it, you know, even simpler than I've ever heard, in right down to like and I believe it to be true, when you're setting your goals, to be in your peak state. Like don't try to set goals when you're like tired, or you're, you know, you've been worn down, or you've been, you know, just you've been up all night and it's the middle of the night. Oh, that ain't the time to set the goals. I mean, it's, unless you're in your peak state. I don't know. Some people might be in their peak state at 2 a.m. after they, you know, whatever been doing. But it's just again, and back to, I don't know if you guys were on before when I was talking about it, but in where he was just talking about, don't categorize, don't break down, you know, your categories for your goals. Like, that's just because we're all different. Like, so not everyone puts the same amount of weight into their family goals as they do their business goals, as they do their spiritual goals, as they do their financial goals, so whatever. Like, what is it right now that's the most pressing on your plate? That's what you should work on. That's where you should spend the most time and energy, to figure out a system and a plan for that area. And you may have 3 in your family and 2 in your finance and 1 in your spiritual, because you've been crazy spiritual the last, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10 decades. You know, it's like, okay, you need to put more over here. But it doesn't mean, that again, however you do goals is right or wrong. It's just, you know, do your way, and then figure out how to check back in and really, you know, measure those goals and add to or subtract from. And there's always different ways to, you know, just fine tune what that is that you're doing. Because again, there's no one way, and there's no like optimal way. You can always, but with that said, with everything, if you're not consistent and frequent, you ain't going to get results, not what you're looking for.
right.
Then you got to go set new goals. Because if you ain't getting the goal, you know, getting what you really want, it's either you ain't putting enough time or effort, or you need to readjust it, because you're too far askew. And that goes back into, you know, the different types of goals he was talking about: the short term, the long term, the stretch goals versus the immediate, you know. And even the smaller goals, make them a little more difficult to get, but make them attainable. But then have the, you know, all right, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, how many ever years you want to go out. I don't tend to go out any further than 5 for me, just because I know that scales, I blow my mind and shift everything, you know, within usually in 6-month increments. So if I start planning for 10 years out, that might end up being my 3-year goal by the time I get to my 3-year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying with my 1-year goal,
Right.
beginning of the year, so I haven't made like hardly any money in crypto to say that I'm gonna have $1 million in my crypto accounts, have 50,000 in my bank account, and 50,000 a month hitting my accounts. I thought that was a stretch. Now I don't. I really don't, because things keep coming. You know, we still have September, October, November, December. I got 4 more months to accumulate and to pour gasoline on what's already been started. And I know there's more stuff coming. And will it hit then? I don't know if it hits on the, you know, 12/31/22 or not. I know it's getting, and I know it's going to. I know it's going to show up, because there's too many things that are coming from being on the court. And that's the only way we're going to win. And I say I mean we, because we all have the same spirit here. I know this. I've known all of you on here long enough now to know that we're different. And that's cool. It's not a like, oh, we're better than. No, we didn't want to be part of that crowd doing all those other things and doing all that stuff and following all of the hype or the sheep of the worlds. And again, I don't say sheep to put nobody down, but there's a lot of sheep out there. And they're going to do whatever the heck it is because so many people gave them validation, or so many people said that was okay to do that. But you don't know how many times in my life, and I'm sure all of you, and you will be if you're on this journey of being different and having different ideas, be called weird, be called stupid, be called you're drinking that Kool-Aid, be called do you really believe that stuff, be called all these different things. Yeah, it's that's the mad sheep, crazy sheep. So,
Hey Dom, I want to say something about that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and it sticks in my head now. And when we said that I was going to try to do something, try to change something, and you told me that, don't say try, just say I'm going to do it. And that sticks in my head every day, man. Every day I say to my wife, I'm going to try something. I said, no, I'm going to do this. So I've changed my attitude towards doing versus trying. And I actually cut something out of my life today that's been affecting me. Just cut it out. I'm not going to detail or anything, but I just did it. And
you already said the details. You cut them. They don't belong. They don't belong there. They keep going. Bad.
Yeah, brother. I mean, that's all I'm saying, man. Just I appreciate the conversation that we've had and that we continue to have amongst and like I said, that try thing just stuck in. It's in my head. It's in my head.
Yeah, good.
So,
Good. Good. I'm glad I'm there because
brother. Yeah.
It's one of those things that people always tell me different things that I tell them and coach them on within my sessions and all of that. And they're like, you know what? I was going to do this, but I heard you over here. I'm like, good. Like, or I heard you, or I was going to do this and I knew that whatever, but I'm working on doing this and that. And I'm saying, you're aware. Now, at least you're aware,
Right.
It doesn't mean, you're going to get it all the time, or you're going to be able to say, I can't have that, or I don't want that person, or I don't, want this food or drink or whatever it is. But if you're aware of it, that's a whole nother, you're conscious, man. So now all of a sudden it's going to be, again, back to this chapter, downloaded into the subconscious, and then it won't even be a thought anymore.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Sophia, how are you?
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
My apologies. I got a call from my cousin, like I haven't spoken to her in forever.
No worries. I love it.
Catch up with her before jumping on. So what I got out of the chapters. So I really enjoyed these two chapters. I probably listened to them like 4 or 5 times. And I kept like repeating certain sections. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. Of course, some of these things, some of the things that he talked about, heard them numerous times from different teachers, including Mr. Nelson. And so, they always say that sometimes we just need reminders, or sometimes when you hear it, it lands differently. Mm-hmm. So I really liked the questions he went through on in chapter 8. One more question. Those 32 questions were quite profound. Some of them, of course, once again, we already know them. And the others, just left you a little bit of a bee in your head.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
I really enjoyed that chapter. And the quote at the end, or close to the end, by Ruby D, that really stuck out to me, which is, if you're not healthy enough to want to gift yourself with the truth, then don't get to the end of your life with regret. And I was like, damn. Wait a minute, say it again. You know, I just thought that was a really strong, powerful statement to make. And just really asking ourselves, like, how truthful do we really get with ourselves?
That's true.
Like, really, how truthful? I know that I work on consistently checking in with friends, like friends that I trust that will be objective on, you know, I did this and you know, you know, was my behavior really, was my action, was I, you know, or even for myself, I'm always checking in on myself to always be more responding than reactive. So all these like different things. So that statement, checking in on the gift, on gifting yourself with the truth. I thought that was very powerful, even tapping into being authentic and really lying in that space. For chapter 9, okay, you know what? I just love this damn book, okay? So
tell us how you really feel.
So for chapter 9, it's like goals are energy, life, sorry, goals are energy, life force. Goals are energy, goals are life force. Goals are a state of being. I was like, what now? Come back now. You
No,
know?
that was deep. This is my favorite chapter. This is my favorite chapter.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. I said it's dope.
Yeah, it's so dope.
Because
And
energy is everything. And to break down goals being energy, and then like, okay, I don't want to say now I get it, but it really, I never heard it put that way. And I know everything is energy, so why wouldn't I think that goals are energy? But just I never heard it. Goals are energy to the life force, you know.
yeah, 100% agree with you there. So I was just like, oh my gosh, when I teach the next vision board workshop, I am so throwing that in there, because maybe then people will really connect with why it's so important to have goals, you know? The other quotes that stood out for me was, create goals in your peak state, which you spoke about. I thought that that was powerful as well. We never really think about that. We're told to just create goals. Create your goals and then break them down into action steps. Make sure that you use the SMART method. But no one ever tells you that, wait a minute, when you're going to create these goals, maybe you need to be in an optimal position. Is your mind and your body synchronized? Is it in sync? Because if not, then the goals are going to be something that you just wrote down and it will sit there, right? Goals should be emotional so that it can create the energy and resilience during difficult times. I was like, this man, I don't know where he was downloading this information from, but it was just hitting all the right places. I was just like, goals should be, what now? Yeah, I really, it just speaks volumes. It definitely speaks volumes. You need to set goals when you're working out of your imagination and dreams instead of your history and fears. Now, I know that I may have said that in many different ways, but I think that this one is just hits it, you know? And how powerful that is to really anchor with that understanding. The other, and my last, is repeat goals in the same state that you create them in. Otherwise, your brain will reject them. Your body and your brain and your body must be in sync. Now, I know that when we talk about shifting behaviors, demolishing paradigms, that we're taught that we must think, we must have things in repetition. But once again, no one really talks about how that repetition should also be created in the same, that you must enact on it in the same state that it was created in. And maybe those are the little pieces, the little nuances that we're missing, that
Right.
sometimes doesn't shift us to where we're trying to go.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
It really, you know, like you just said, that might be the missing component for a bunch of us, for the different things or different areas of our goals that we've set. Because we, you know, you have to admit, for one, you wouldn't be on here if you haven't hit some goals in your life. It just, you know what I mean? For two, maybe there is that missing component of where maybe we either one, we're just a little off on those goals because we didn't evaluate them and check back in them and reset them in that peak state again. You're doing it in different states. And this is a whole other side story. And it just came into my download right now, talking to Erica, Miss Yancey, about poems and about writing music. And when music writers write music, or you write poetry, depending on the season when you're actually writing it, is what type of music you're going to put out in, whether you do it in the spring, summer, fall, winter. Not the season of your life, actually the season, which is crazy to me. You know, I never heard this. So it's the same type of thing. If you're not in that same season, in that same state of mind, when you set these goals and these big dreams, it only makes sense that you have to get back to that season or that state to really be in there and really evaluate and really critique and break down and figure out how to take that shit to the next level.
Yeah.
Told you something with monitors. So I'm glad I recorded this thing.
I didn't realize you were recording, but yeah, good stuff.
No, but it's not all of us. It just, again, it's an energy. This brings an energy. This is not a coincidence that we're all on here. There's not a coincidence that this book is coming out right now, and this is the one that was picked. Shit picked me, it picked you, it picked Dave, it picked, you know, all of us here. It's not you know, this isn't anything new. It's just something that may be new to some of our brains, or new for us to comprehend, or a new way of looking at it, or a new angle of looking at all of this. Nothing is new. Everything has been done before. There's no new problem, there's no new solution. Well, maybe Elon has new solutions, but problems, I'm just kidding. We all have them too, but there are some freaks out there that, you know, go through a whole nother stratosphere that.
One last thing on the goal front before I forget, and Dom, you were talking about this a little bit earlier, but it really stuck with me is, you know, his recommendation to have the goals simple and flexible. Like in my past, I've always been like, you know, you set a goal, it's like, that's the goal. Like you have to hit that goal or else you failed, you know,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be like that. You know, it took me a long time to get that. And that really spoke to me. And I think that'll help me a lot because, and I've been working on it a little, you know, as I go, but you know, you almost like carry that guilt that you didn't hit that goal that you set, you know, and, you know, rather than the mentality that I'm getting towards, and I hope I have now, is like, what did I learn from that goal and what's the next goal, or how do I just tweak that goal a little bit or totally scrap the goal, and that's okay. That was just a stepping stone to the next goal you didn't even know, at that point. You really were meant for something higher, and you were shooting for something down here and it didn't work out, and it didn't work out for a reason, right?
Every
So
time. No, that's exactly it. And one of the things that I wrote down that I wanted to share, it's within all of what you just said. What we have to remember is who set that goal? We did. So when we don't hit that mark that we set, why should we be like, okay? And what triggered it was when he was talking about, and I thought I might even said this before on a call or whatever. And I know Dave, you know the story, and maybe you both do, or three of you do, but when I was first starting to work and mentor Dave, it was the beginning of the new year, and I asked him, tell me something that you did last year that you're proud of, that you did, let's give me a list. I don't remember the exact question, but he said he did 100 push-ups every single day. I said, every single day? You didn't miss a day? Nope. Every day. I'm like, damn, that's cool. I was like, I'm gonna do that. I didn't tell him that, but I'm gonna do that. I didn't know when, I just told myself I'm gonna do that. But I decided on my birthday in February, for my 47th birthday, I'm gonna do the 100 push-ups. And then again, the crazy mind that I have, I'm like, and
not just one more.
yeah, I'm a compound one more. I've always been a one more thinker, so I'm like, I'm gonna do one more, and I did one more every day, every single day for the year. So 101, 102, 103, 104, 465 push-ups in a day on my last day. Here's the moral of the story. On day, let's see, week 33, 5 days into week 33, I miss. I went to a wedding on a Friday. It was trafficky from here out to Malibu on a Friday. Like, who gets married on a Friday in Malibu? Crazy crackheads. So I won't even get into the story of like what it took to get out there. And I cut myself shaving. I poured water all over my shirt in the car. It was crazy. It was just, but I got out there. We had a beautiful time. It was amazing. I get home. My dog, he's old. We're all adults here. He shit all over the place. And we had to clean all that up. We cleaned it up. I'm tired. Had a couple drinks. Dog shit all over the place. I fell asleep, went to bed. Woke up in the morning. I was like, God, I didn't do my push-ups. Oh my God. 236 days in a row gone. I'm done. What do you do? My goal was to do it every day. One more every day. I blew it. Do I stop? Or do I keep going? I mean, at that point in time, I had the thought, and I knew I was going to keep going, but I had the thought, was like, holy shit, this is what happens to people. I've been on a diet for this long, I messed up. I've been on a health kick for this long, I messed up. I haven't eaten cake or rice or bean, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, whatever people give up. They made it and they set a goal for a year. My goal was for 1 year. I was going to do this for 1 year. I messed up. I got back on it. I just said, you know what, stop. Luckily I've been seasoned long enough and been on the court long enough and learned these, these pitfalls and these road bumps in the road, and the devil around every corner, and every new level there's a new devil. This shit is true, man. It was like, the devil was after me. He's like, I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna spill water on you. I'm gonna put all sorts of traffic. I'm gonna have your dog shit all over the place, and like you're gonna wake up and you ain't gonna do your push-ups. And I really look at life like that. And it's like, it's a test. You're either passing or you're failing. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make those push-ups up. I'm not gonna do what 230, 236, 300. And so I'm doing 100 plus the 236, day 236. So 336, that's 772 fucking push-ups I've got to do. I ain't doing that. So I just broke it up. I'm like, all right, over the next week, month, I don't remember what I did. I'll do extra amount of push-ups, just caught back up. You know what happened though, is after that point, I missed some days because I missed that day. So be careful. But I also caught back up and I made sure by the time I was done, I did the, 104,000, 103,200, how many, I don't remember anymore how many it was, but I did that many push-ups in 1 year, all because of that guy. He told me he did 100 a day every day. And then my crazy brain, understanding the powers of compounding, because it could have been 100 a day. That's what, 36,000, 500 push-ups, whatever. Or it's 102,000, all because I did one more each day. That's some powerful stuff. And I'm glad I didn't commit to 2, 3, 5. Thank you. I'm glad I didn't commit to 2, 3, 5 years, because we know what 5 years of compounding looks like. It goes astronomical, but it's just these little things in life that we have these moments of lapse, and we create the rules, and we break the rules, and then we decide that we should stop because we broke our own damn rule. Like, what kind of, that's just, again, that's crackhead thinking. Like, we need to think bigger than that. We need to think, like one more thinkers of like, no, like, okay, now it's time to double up. I ain't gonna catch up all tomorrow or the next day, but over time, we are gonna catch up. And again, it just keeps downloading back to his chapter on, bending time and having 3 days into one, having those 8-hour days, 3 of them into one, and then you're doing it. If you do that for a week, you got 21 days. You do it for a month, you got, damn near 100 freaking days. You do that for a year, holy cow. You do that for 2, 3, 5 years. And I've never done it, looked at it like that, but I have really maxed out my days for a long time. Even if there's built-in, and there is built-in quiet time, there's built-in, me time, there's built-in, stretch time, yoga time, meditation time, built in, but then the family time and all of that. But I just make sure that I don't waste any part of my day. I know we all waste a little bit here and there on social media and do whatever, some lost time. But to me, that's almost therapy. Like, you need those times. It's when you get caught in that and then you don't know how to get out of that. And then you get sucked into other people's lives and you're like, holy, like, well, how did I get down this lane? We've all been there. Like, whoa, how did I get over here and spend so much time on, I don't even know, I don't even like this person. Like, what the hell just happened? But again, it's back to real life experiences, real life situations, and things happen in real time, and we have a decision at every moment to make. We're either failing or we're passing. We're either adding energy to us or we're pulling energy out of us. Get back to the energy, things that are gonna, boost you up and really, just take you to the next level.
Hey, goals. I got something to say. Okay. So I'm the queen of like trying to help other people become accountable for things, but never following through and doing the same for myself. So I will admit firsthand that. But one thing that I started doing, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 months ago, I was good for about a month and then I forgot it existed, was I actually broke down my calendar from wake up at this time, drink water, pee, brush my teeth, wash my hands, but not in that order. Uh, but throughout the whole entire day, plan my day according to what I do anyway, so I could find the gaps in my schedule to where I can do other goal producing things. But the most important part is I actually went back that night and I would make a notation on the color coded calendar thing I've got. And I would put yellow next to anything that went according to plan and red for what didn't. Not to, like punish or anything like that, or even bring to the fact of it's like, oh my God, okay, Wendy, you blew your schedule today, but to be aware of the things that I didn't put in place that I had planned. Life happens, you can break down, you can have somebody like run into somebody at the grocery store that you haven't seen for a while and have a 45-minute conversation. And then that's 45 minutes worth of something you already had planned. So we beat ourselves up and we feel like dragged by the time that we, are done with our day because we didn't finish everything that we wanted to, but we don't celebrate what we did accomplish. So by just being aware of what we're doing, but yet taking time to like almost point out and think about what you're grateful for in life for like 5 minutes and get in that state of mind of gratefulness before we look at what we did or didn't do, then we're not beating ourselves up because we're already in that mind frame.
No, that's the gratefulness part is huge. And it's that part checking in multiple times a day, I firmly believe in. Because so many people get caught in what didn't happen versus what did. I tell clients all the time, celebrate the things that you are doing well, because you weren't doing that before, even though this part is way off and you're eating too much, drinking too much, not exercising enough, but you're aware of it. You're actually eating better most of the days. You're surfing, you're swimming, you're doing this, whatever it is, so yeah, celebrate the wins. That's huge. Not like, okay, I deserve to now go go out and have ice cream, that type of celebration. Like, no, like, be proud of like you've had 1% change, 2% change, 5% change.
Well, and like I've lost 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks, and I've lost 2 inches around my waist. And people are like, oh my God, congratulations, because I'm putting it out there to hold myself accountable to continue following the diet tomorrow. But this time, for the first time in my life, I'm not excited. I'm not depressed. I'm not nothing. This is just what I do. It's like, yeah, I mean, people are like, aren't you excited? And I'm like, not really. And they're like, oh, you're afraid you won't follow through? And I'm like, no, I'm just there. It's part of my routine. This is what I do. It's part of breathing is eating properly because I set myself up for success the way that I have it planned. Where in the past, yay, I'm excited. And then next thing you know, oh, shoot, I totally wasn't supposed to have a bite of that. Now I'll start again on Monday.
So you can kind of, again, one thing you can shift is when they say, are you excited? And even for you to be excited, but not for you, for others, to show other people, you know what? So many times I've tried this and I haven't followed through, but you know what? This time it's different. And you believe in this. So this isn't like you're making shit up. Like you do believe it. And I'm not excited because this is nothing. This is just this is one step in my journey for life. These are life altering things that are to shift you into making it your new life. This is just how I live. This isn't like, and I saw this the other day on someone saying, we've become so accustomed to treating our bodies like shit, eating like shit, to whatever, to when you actually eat foods that are good for you, that you're on a diet. What do you mean? What is this diet shit? Like, no, this is a lifestyle. This is how it was meant to be. This is how we're supposed to put fuel into our body, and all of a sudden we have to label it, and then you look weird again. I don't care that I look weird or whatever you want to call it, because I take care of my body, I take care of my mind, I take care of my spirit, I take care of my people. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Gluttony is one of the deadly sins, no?
See, and like using the term, I mean, because I've been like 100 pounds overweight for like decades, so using the term lifestyle feels like forever, feels
It is
unaccomplishable.
forever.
But when it's a diet, it feels like, oh, this is just temporary until I hit my goal. But by then it becomes a routine. So it's like lifestyle feels like
Diet
forever.
means temporary. Like you said,
What?
diet means temporary.
Yeah,
Diet,
and it could be temporary,
diet
but it
doesn't
could
get
also be the
done.
mindset of this is just temporary. I can have sushi once I hit my goal of losing that 100 pounds, not to go back totally, but by the time that I go through that 100 pounds, darn well after these many years that it will become a lifestyle.
Yeah, but it's not a you make it a lifestyle before it becomes. You make the decision for the how to. You make the plan and you stick to it, and then you adjust. You don't say at this point, then I will. Again, that's why I do everything in 1 year. I don't know where it came from. And I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I had at least from nutrition standpoint, I had a doctor, client of mine, chiropractor, that his brother was a registered nutritionist, and he told him, it takes 1 full year of commitment in something, a nutrition plan, a fitness plan, whatever, like 1 year, like committed to that to be the new you. You own that body, you own that way of life after 1 full year in it without deviation. Yeah, 1 or 2 days deviated, like I did with the push-ups, that's different. But it's when you go hard for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 7 months, and then you deviate and you go back to like your old way for a minute, then you go back on and off and off and on. That's the yo-yo. That's how you never really see real change. We've all met people that have made drastic changes in their physical appearance, in their attitudes, in their lives for short periods of time. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 7 months. If you hit that year mark, ding, 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 they say that's yours. Now you own it. It's yours. More likely than not, you're going to succeed. That's going to be your new you, your new body, your new energy levels, your new life. So I took that to another level with most things that I do. I say I commit for the year, and at the year I check in, and more times than not, it's been minus the push-ups. More times than not, it's been like, okay, do I keep going or do I shift? And more times than not, it's like, I feel fucking amazing. Why would I stop this? When I did keto, when I was vegetarian or pescatarian, when I, did other, workout regimens, when I, started reading, committed to reading 10 pages a day for a year, every day for a year, which ultimately at the end of that year was doing more than 10 pages because I'd never done that. I didn't read. So I didn't know, Darren Hardy. I was like, okay, 1 year, I'm going to do Darren Hardy every morning on the way to work. Monday through Friday, he has a program. It's like 3 to 5 minutes. He just gives you these downloads of fucking information. I'm going to do it for a full year. I did it for 3.5, 4 years. But there's also been a lot of things where it was like, I didn't give it the full year. I didn't give it I'm going to make the decision too. It was like, I'm just going to Tyrone. I want to give it a try. Try to do whatever. I didn't know this. So again, these words, these power words, they weren't in my vocabulary. I didn't understand. I didn't know that I was giving my subconscious permission to fail. I didn't know this. I didn't know the subconscious existed. I heard it. You have your conscious and your subconscious, but I didn't really understand it until I understood it. Until I really put in time, effort, and energy to really understand the brain, how it works, understand how every aspect of people work, how human psychology works, how, setting goals works, how affirmations work, how meditation works, how prayer works, how, eating the right thing and, getting into the right state of mind and really changing your state, how to change your state, how that worked, how personal development works. Well, I'll tell you one thing, how it all works. Consistency and frequency. And just forget how the ending's gonna be, and know that if you show up, put yourself on the court and you make goals, set goals and have dreams and have mentors and coaches to show you how to get to the next step, to be able to wake up tomorrow and have bigger dreams, bigger goals, to have boom, aha moments where books like this, calls like this will have an aha moment. You'll take something from this tonight. I will. I know that. It's again, back to Jim Rohn saying, if I go to these conferences and do all these things, people ask, why are you doing this? Why are you going 3 days to stuff you already know all of this? If I get one thing out of it, propel me to the next level, moment, it's worth it. And it's always had at least one, if not tens or hundreds of moments to every, and he was, in his 80s, I think, 70s, 80s when he was still going. So, Wendy,
Yes.
close us out. What do you got for us? 2 minutes.
Well, for me, sorry,
You good?
I just ordered 300 water bottles, so I had to give the okay before they gave the wrong freaking design. So okay, so the way I look at it, life is like a puzzle. And by tapping into people who are living your dreams, who have walked the walk, who have the same type of struggles that you've been through, only they've overcome it, then it's not like putting a puzzle together upside down where all you see is the cardboard. They're giving you the directions to flip the box over and tell you, make the colorful shit be what you see. And then as you're putting the pieces together, you're completing the goals, you're doing everything that you need to, you're going to actually see that beautiful crystal clear picture so much faster than trying to put it together upside down. And I love the fact that you said, at the end of the year, that you look at what you accomplished and then, do I want to do it? Do I not? It's like you decide to shift. Do I want to shift what I'm doing, tweak it, but you're still maintaining a goal, not like I'm done, over, maybe next year I'll do something else, but you're going to shift it to who you are at that moment in time. That was powerful for me.
No, and that's 100%. Thank you for that. And I'll close on this because it's another part of these last 2 chapters. Seriously, it was so powerful. There was so much information. There's so much in these 2 chapters, that, especially the goals that I've done in my life, that I've seen work, and what really truly works. And in some of it, I didn't even pick up, and they talk about that they do, like Ed says, he has a power word for the year. And I don't know how this happened, but 6-7 years ago, we were at New Year's Eve dinner, my wife and I and her best friend and her husband, and her best friend, she's always been like the inquisitive one. Like, I used to not like her because she has so many damn questions, but she just wanted to know. She was deep. Like, she was chapter 8. It was like, and it would be these obscure questions like we just heard, and that we have to go back through chapter 8 and go through and answer those, because I think there's gonna we'll all have some breakthroughs from that. And I answered some, but I know I need to go deeper, pull back the layers of the onion a little bit to see what that is. But within that, I'm like, what are your resolutions for the year? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna give up? What are you gonna whatever? And Actually, a priest said it many years back. You don't have to give up stuff. You can give in to stuff. And I did it for Lent too, but I did it in the New Year. So instead of give up, give in. But I gave myself a word for the year, or a phrase, or something I was gonna do for the year, rather than like goal. It's like, no, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do something. So it went into like spreading my knowledge. Like, I acquired so much knowledge. I've been around so many freaking influential, amazing people, and like asked the right question, asking these questions and getting these answers for myself. Like, we don't get all of this stuff for ourselves. We're put on this planet to help others. We're put on this planet to share. We're put on this planet to connect and to really, spread our knowledge, our wealth, or whatever it is amongst each other, learn from each other, but then also have this specialized knowledge. I felt like I had all this specialized knowledge that I just wasn't sharing. My hands, my craft, my energy, my healing stuff that I've done. I need to put my hands on more people. That was another year. I did. I mean, then again, what happened with all this is a whole nother conversation, but by putting it out there, it just comes. Another one was to be more bold, because I always felt like I didn't, not that I didn't talk enough, or I didn't put myself out there enough. I was more of the observer and taking in the information versus putting it out there and really telling you, no, you need to freaking stop doing this and you need to start doing it, especially in my craft. So I started being more bold with my conversation. I used to just keep stuff here and I would do it, whatever, whatever. But no, I need to let other people know that you should try this, you should do that, you should, whatever it was. There was a few other years, I don't know, but it also became as a download in the beginning of the year. Like, I didn't choose these words, they chose me. This year was judgment. I didn't know because I didn't consider myself as someone who judges, but we all judge, whether we think it or we don't, whatever it is. And it's goes down to the littlest things, equanimity. I mean, it's seeing something and not have a judgment on what that is, like really looking at it for what it is. And also looking at it from what the other person, how they see it, and how they may not have all the tools and the capacities to see it the same way that you see it, because they're seeing it from a different angle. They have a different perspective of it. They have a different, understanding of whatever that is. And that's okay. That's on them. So again, I encourage all of you to, within that, and it doesn't have to be started in the new year. Sit quiet and let a word resonate with you. What is that word? Like he says his were like peace, love, joy, happiness. I mean, he had all amazing ones too, and none of them were the ones that were mine. So you all are gonna have different ones that resonate with you. What is my word for the year? Stick with it for the year. Back to the year thing. Like, I do things for a year, but that's kind of how it was set up in our psychology and our mind. Like January 1st, okay, we do this and we go for the year. And then in the, January 1st, we reevaluate. It doesn't have to be January 1st. Your year can start right now, whatever that is. So, all right, y'all. I got to get going, have some dinner. I appreciate you guys. And anything you want to put in the chat, throw it in there.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Dom.
Thank
right,
you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
guys.
Thanks,
And then-
everybody.
One quick thing, guys. If you think about, like, as you're reading through the chapters, if there's any like favorite quotes from the chapter, if you put it in the thread, I make graphics all the time, and I can't promise I'd be able to like make a quote for every single thing, but like I knocked out 8 short, like under 1 minute verbal quotes from Ed Milet from like one of his talks today with graphics and stuff. And it's just kind of like a hobby of mine, but being able to like share that to where it's like a reaffirmation of, why that quote meant something to us. Feel free, share it. you know, you don't have to share like what the quote meant to you and stuff like that. But to me, that is one of the key reasons how it's easy for me, or easier for me, to work on the steps forward, to work on my goals, versus just reading it. Ooh, I like that part. And then by the time I'm done, I don't remember. So it's kind of like that. Those are my notes.
No, that's, thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And
Right.
I guess, Dawn, next week, chapter
Next
10
week.
and 11.